Stormy Daniels has come out with a composite picture of the person that she says accosted her back in 2011. Now, this is very important because of the legal dominoes that it sets into effect. First of all, as you're seeing in the graphic here, let's show you the full screen picture of what the guy apparently looks like based on her description and one of the top, basically portrait drawers in the country that does this for a living, Louis Gibson, a forensic artist, drew this. Now, we're gonna get back to that picture because there's some interesting theories about that in a second. But let me tell you what happened back in 2011. Remember, Stormy Daniels, of course, an adult film actress who had an affair with Donald Trump back in 2006. It was a couple of months after Melania Trump had her first child with Donald Trump. That's, of course, Barron Trump. And so Donald Trump didn't want this coming out. She might have pictures and texts as well. Another reason why Donald Trump didn't want it coming out. We're not having a discussion as to whether it happened. It most clearly happened based on overwhelming evidence. So now the question is, did Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer, pay her $130,000 as hush money? Would that be, for example, an in-kind contribution that would violate campaign finance laws significantly? But that's not the only legal issue. The other legal issue is apparently threats that were made to her 5 years after the affair in 2011. Now, that's when she started talking to the press. So that's the significance of the year 2011. And she explains her version of the story of what happened to her in Vegas. She says, I was in a parking lot going to a fitness class with my infant daughter, and a guy walked up on me and said to me, leave Trump alone, forget the story. And then he leaned around and looked at my daughter and said, that's a beautiful little girl. It'd be a shame if something happened to her mom. And then he was gone. Okay, now, if that in fact happened, that is significant legal trouble for anyone who might have contracted out that thug to go threaten Stormy Daniels that way. Now, the affair with Donald Trump, as I told you, is absolutely clear cut. She said all the way back in 2011, she described the details of the affair way before Donald Trump even considered running for president, and that was all on tape. They did pay her hush money. There's no question about that. Whether this guy exists and that crime happened is an open question. But if it were to be settled in the direction that he is real, that did happen, and if Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer, were the one who contracted him, boy, he's in massive trouble. Not campaign finance kind of trouble, but, and by the way, that is very significant. But this, we could be talking about decades in prison here. This is a giant matter that involves potential threats of physical violence. And if Michael Cohen's in that kind of trouble, well, who's the one guy he's got evidence on? And what kind of trouble does that put Donald Trump in? So Stormy Daniels' attorney has put out an email. If you see this guy, you're apparently supposed to, it's a $100,000 reward. It's no joke, okay? And the email is idthethug@gmail.com, idthethug@gmail.com. And by the way, if you do find the guy, tell the lawyer the Young Turk sent you. No, you keep the money. I don't want any part of that $100,000, okay? It'd be nice if somebody in the Young Turks army found him. Now, while you're looking, don't get too confused because there are some people that he does look like. Let's be clear about that. One of them is this guy. Okay, keep it real. It is unlikely to be Tom Brady, so don't bother emailing in with, I solved it, if your answer is Tom Brady. Okay, now another guy that it could be, according to some on the internet now, is a man named Glendon Crane. Well, that's curious. So that does kind of look like him a little bit, because he's in a picture right there next to Stormy Daniels. Why are they in the picture together? Because that's Stormy Daniels' husband. Oh, that is a curious coincidence. So can I see the original portrait again? I mean, you're seeing it right there next to me, but still. And now let's see Stormy Daniels and her husband. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, that's just weird. Okay, so I don't know what's going on. That's why I told you this part, I don't know. If it's real, it's a world of trouble for Michael Cohen and probably Donald Trump. If it isn't, by the way, it should be a world of trouble for Stormy Daniels. So because you shouldn't make up anything like this. And just because this guy kind of happens to look like her husband doesn't mean that it's not real. But that is a weird, weird coincidence. You just watched the video by the Young Turks, the home of the revolution. If you'd like to get the full show, come join us and become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.